So that's why we take up arms for defense of ourselves and others. It's not just because we're gunslingers or because we think we're superheroes. We know that this life should not be wasted. And it's easy to get caught up in the minutia. I mean, it is. I don't have a BlackBerry for that very reason. I don't want to be checking my phone every 10 minutes, looking at the latest spam email that is buzzing my hip. It's really easy to get caught up in the little things that don't matter much. But it's okay to remind ourselves of the important things every now and then. There's an author, his name is Bill McKibben. He says that we're living in an age where, quote, vital knowledge that humans have always possessed about who we are and where we live seems out of reach. He calls it an unenlightenment. Now, this country was founded in the age of enlightenment. If we're now living in the unenlightened age, what happens next? So, when we leave here today, let's pledge that we're going to get ourselves and we're going to get others caught up on why this country was founded, on what we may have forgotten. I was looking at Allen's Pocket Constitution today, and there's a great quote from George Washington in here, 1790. "Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. In one in which the measures of government receive their impression so immediately from the sense of the people as in ours, it is essential." So let's reread the Declaration of Independence. Let's reread the Constitution. Let's teach our kids and talk to our kids. Bring the founders alive. They're not... George Washington's more than just a guy who could never tell a lie. And Thomas Jefferson's more than just a guy who may have fathered a child with one of his slaves. These were geniuses. These were statesmen. But they weren't anybody really different than you or I. We have the same DNA. And frankly, we have the same love of liberty in our veins that they had in theirs. So, I plan on using Cam and Company to help us rediscover some of the things that we've lost as a society. There are things, frankly, that you already know. But our friends may not know, our neighbors may not know these things. And we can talk to them. Our right of self-defense, our right to keep and bear arms, didn't just spring fully formed from Thomas Jefferson's brow like the goddess Athena did from Zeus. It is, as our founding fathers knew, and as so many of us have forgotten, it is an inalienable right. It is a self-evident truth. It's not an opinion. It's not in your judgment. The founding fathers knew this was truth, that we have a right to life. We have a right to be free. We have a right to pursue happiness. And thanks to George Washington, we even know what that means. Knowledge is in every country the surest basis of public happiness. We have a right to be smart. We don't have to be dumb. We don't have to be ignorant. We can be, and frankly, the smarter we are, and the more ignorant the rest of the country is, the louder our voices get to be. Because the politicians and the people running for office know that without us, without our knowledge, without our support, they're not going to be able to do anything. It's a heavy responsibility for gun owners, but we're used to responsibilities. We're used to being responsible people. And so we know that when we fight to preserve our right to keep and bear arms, that we're really fighting to preserve our past as well as to protect our future. So thank you. Thank you for being responsible gun owners. Thank you for exercising your right to carry. Thank you for loving life and for defending yourself and for defending others and for fighting to preserve and protect not just your life and not just your liberty, but mine as well. Thank you very much. Now, Now, before I go, I do have to tell you that we're going to be broadcasting live from Camp Perry tomorrow on NRAnews.com beginning at noon Eastern. So if you haven't had a chance to make it up to Port Clinton this summer, we're going to have all kinds of coverage of the Springfield match, again, starting at noon Eastern. Yeah, we're East Coast time, right? We're Eastern. Okay. So noon on NRAnews.com. Thanks. Let me get my props, sorry.
What was the name of that video?
The Dumbest Generation.
Okay, another round of applause for all the speakers, please. Now, before we get to the door prizes, I just want to real quick recognize D&J Sounds, who's around here somewhere. Oh, there he is. Music Man from the forums. His company, D&J Sounds, has provided the entire sound system free of charge, donated to West Front Picnic. Thank you. Okay, we're going to move on to the door prizes. Now, I'm sorry?
Ask him if yesterday was his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Was it your birthday yesterday, Cam?
Yesterday was my birthday.
Should we sing to Cam? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Cam. Happy birthday to you.
I have to tell you, thank you so much. I have to tell you, I called my wife yesterday afternoon because I flew in and I got into Cleveland about 3 o'clock. I drove to Port Clinton, and Dylan Jofte, our photographer, and John Pop and Mike Aiken, the tech guys, were driving from Virginia with all of our stuff, and so we were going to meet up for dinner, and we were going to go out, and I was going to be able to celebrate my birthday that way. Well, they got stuck in traffic, so they didn't make it there till like 10 o'clock. So I called my wife, and I told her, I said, this is the lamest birthday I have ever had. I am walking by myself through a super Walmart in Sandusky, Ohio. Now, I will say,
to Ohio,
the
yeah.
super Walmart was actually great because they don't let Walmart build them in Virginia anymore. So it was like being back in Oklahoma. It was great, but that was kind of lame. But you know what? This just made up for it. So thank you very, very much.
Question. What is going on with the compromise between the NRA and the Democrats in the federal legislature?
That is probably a question that is best addressed to somebody who actually works for NRA ILA, not NRA News. But I can tell you the bill that was introduced has 47 co-sponsors, Republican and Democrat. Actually, it may be 49. I take that back. And I can tell you what it would do. It would get rid of the semi-auto ban in D.C. It would get rid of the storage requirement in D.C. It would get rid of the registration requirement in D.C. Those are the three biggest issues that have come up since Heller, and the bill would do all of those things.
Purchasing Maryland and Virginia.
Oh, that's right. And that's one other thing, yes. Because the district right now, in fact, I was actually at an
only has
ATF.
one FFL and he's not selling.
Well, there are 5 FFLs in the district. One of them actually runs the Violence Policy Center. 2 of them are theatrical companies who they have their FFL so they can get guns in as props. There's one individual, like Alan said, who may be doing transfers and may not be doing transfers, but he's not going to operate a storefront facility. So I was actually at an ATF briefing for the media on Friday, and some of the local media have finally figured out that people in D.C. still can't buy a new handgun anywhere because there's no way to get that gun transferred back. So that is the other thing, you're right, that's a very important component of the bill, that it will change federal law so that residents of the district can go to Virginia and go to Maryland and buy a firearm and not have to get it transferred back into the district. They would be seen as either a resident of Virginia or Maryland. So they can actually become gun owners.